Hi, my name's Rachel, and welcome to my channel, La Bricoluse. I've made this video in honor of Earth Day about an ecological issue that's very important to me.
Water conservation strategies for costumers and dyers. Globally, the impact of extreme drought is growing, affecting our energy supplies, food production, and the planet's natural habitats. Here in the U.S., 40 of our 50 states anticipate water shortages by the year 2024. Every industry that uses water as part of its business practices needs to take a hard look at those uses and come up with strategies for water conservation. Costuming in the entertainment industry is no exception. Here are some ideas to consider for theater leadership and costume designers. The costume designer's color palette is important to the production concept of the creative team. When a costume designer relies upon a dye room to achieve that color palette, water conservation becomes a factor they ought to consider in making dye decisions. Depending upon the fabric or costume item to be dyed and the number of processes required to achieve the proper color, a single dye request can take as much as 200 gallons of water. This is not a call for costume designers to abandon fidelity to their color palettes. It's simply an encouragement of informed choice when it comes to making dye decisions. If a costume can be purchased, pulled, or rented in an acceptable color already, that's a water conservation choice. If fabric yardage must be purchased and dyed for a costume to be custom made, look for fabric labeled PFD, prepared for dyeing. These fabrics have no finishes or sizing that needs to be laundered out before the dye process, so it reduces the amount of water a dyer needs to use to achieve the desired color. Theaters and other performance venues with laundry facilities on site should consider installing front-loading washing machines, which use 1/3 the water capacity of top-loading washers. You probably want to keep the front loader in your dye facility though, because dyers use washing machines as dyeing machines and rinsing machines. The front loader design doesn't allow a dyer the kind of access and control that they need to successfully perform those processes. A conservation-minded theater with an in-house dye facility could adopt a budgetary policy of water offsets. Each production would be assigned a maximum number of sanctioned dye jobs. If a production exceeded that number, they would pay water offsets in the form of a portion of their budget donated to a local water conservation agency. What can dyers do to support conservation efforts in terms of policy and procedure? One practice that is easy to adopt is gray water collection. This is water not intended for human consumption that can be reused for multiple purposes. For example, if your facility has an eye wash that must be tested monthly or weekly, don't let that water run down the drain. Let it flow into your gray water bucket and then pour that water into a rinse cycle of your washing machine. Gray water can also be used to flush toilets, mop floors, and pre-soak garments to be dyed. Another practical approach is to gain proficiency with fiber-reactive dyes. These require less water and lower temperatures to process. What ideas do you have for how costumers and theatrical leadership can conserve water in the making of costumes for future productions? If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notification of new content, and join me every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern for my live studio stream.